Hello and welcome to another Ease Live tutorial. In this video we are covering Ease Live Studio, which is our design tool for creating interactive broadcast graphics directly in the cloud. And today we will just have a quick look around the UI, get our bearings, and then in upcoming videos we will start making some really cool stuff with it. But first of all, let's see what's what. On the left side here we have a column similar to what you may know from a lot of other design tools. Essentially, the contents of our application are listed here. We have scenes, which is what graphics packages are made up of in Ease Live. Essentially, a lower third might be a scene, a Twitter feed might be his own scene, a scorebug might be his own scene, and they're just layered on top of each other in the final application. Each scene has their own layer tree. Here we can add different layer types. There's text, there's plain layers, there's stacks and grids, which we'll cover in future videos. For now, let's just add a layer to show you what that looks like. You can also have layers inside each other. You can add some text inside there. And then on the right-hand side, we have all the properties of whatever we have selected. Again, pretty familiar if you are comfortable with other design tools, digital design tools. Here we have, for example, we can just to show how this works, we can just pin this text layer to all four edges of its, what we call its parent layer, which is the layer it's inside, which is very handy because now we can just resize this. Let's say we want to maybe make a lower third one day out of this. We can resize that and you can see it still has the same margins. We also have triggers up here, which are for hooking up interactivity and other logic. Things like when a layer is clicked, when it's shown or hidden, when a scene is shown or hidden. There's all kinds of things you can react to, and that's all hooked up here. So that is where this tool is different from a lot of other design tools, in that this isn't a sketch that someone else just makes something out of later. This is the actual application, the actual graphics package you're building here with all the logic, all the data hookups, everything. Data hookups themselves, or the data sources, are handled. There's a tab up here for that, which we'll cover in future versions. You can hook up API sources, what we call events, which are a core concept of Ease Live, so they are worthy of their own video, which basically control your graphics, allow your producers to feed content and take stuff on and off air through our production panel called Cockpit. And there's also a tab here called Components. Components are little reusable pieces of graphics and logic that you can use throughout your scenes. And in grid layers, for example, you can imagine a table of results, sports results or of some kind, where each row will typically be a component, so you only design everything once. We have an animation tab down here, or an animation bar, where you do your animation work. As you might expect, here we have show, hide, activate, and deactivate. We'll get into those a little bit more later. Just to quickly show how you animate something when a scene is shown. We choose the show tab. So when this scene is shown, we want to animate this layer. Let's say we want to slide it in from the bottom. And then when it's hidden, we want to slide it back out. There we go. You can change its duration, all kinds of stuff here. You can change the easing. You can have stuff loop back and forth. We'll cover those in more detail later. For now, we'll just keep it very, very simple. And even though we are supposed to keep this very brief, let's just go ahead and make that text nice and big so it's easier to see in the video. There we go. We have some text. And so up here, you might have noticed there's a preview button. So now if we are happy with our work, we hit preview. There we go. We can take our scene in and out, and the animations fire. We can preview that. And we can also preview what it's going to look like on different devices, because remember, Ease Live is rendered, well, you can render it through a mixer or directly in the video player. In any case, the output can vary in size. Now you notice we switch to tablet. It's kind of just hanging in the air. Let's go back and fix that in a moment. Here we can see what it's going to look like on all kinds of devices, and we are not happy with this position. So let's quickly go and fix that. We'll choose this layer. We want it pinned to the bottom edge. Let's just be symmetrical here. Set both to 32 pixels, and now we go back to preview. We can switch to tablet. There we go, and it's still along the bottom. So that is the basic workflow. You can preview things very quickly here. You can change animations. You can iterate on the design very quickly and see the results immediately. Up here, once you're happy, you can save your changes, of course. We also have version control, which we can cover in another video as well. But typically, by the time you're working on a real production project, you'll be using this to make sure that you only publish the versions to the end user that you want. You have some control over what they see while you're working on your draft. And then there's just a toolbar up here with some general tools, zooming, functions, which we'll cover in a future video. And your project settings are worth mentioning, project preferences. You can upload your own fonts here. You can add Google fonts here. Anything from the Google Fonts library can be added here very quickly. And there's also some settings and data source stuff here, which we will skip over now. But we will cover those as well in another video. And if you ever get stuck, excuse me, there's a link here to our docs, which cover hopefully everything you need to know, and then some about how to create stuff in the design tool, and also our other tools like Cockpit for producing a program broadcast, as well as integrating our SDKs. It's all here at docs.easelive.tv or by a click of this button here. So those are the basics. And in future videos, we will start making some more advanced stuff.